It's been a little while ago since I showed you my lingonberries. This is a little tiny plant that I got a few months ago, maybe back in April I think. Um, and it's doing really well. It's already got lots of little berries going from its first flowering. So it flowered back as soon as I got it in April. It was already in flower. So these beautiful little sort of blueberry-like flowers, little bell-shaped ones, that then slowly develop into berries and slowly ripen. The color of these berries when they're ripe, it will be red. So in that way they're just like cranberries. It tastes a lot like large cranberries. They're just a really smaller size. And maybe not quite as tart as them too, but they're usually used as in jams and jellies and things like that. They're really beautiful little berries, really healthy too, full of vitamin C. But these ones, so when you pick them in the wild, they grow wild in Scandinavia, and that's actually where I know them from. So it's a sentimental reason that I actually got this berry bush in the first place, because I remember going out picking berries with my grandparents up in the north of Norway, and up there they're called tutebær. And that word tute, it sort of means pile. It's like an old word for pile or bunch, something like that. And so they're like bunch berries, and they do grow in little bushes like this, little mounds, I suppose, in quite poor soil. And so the kind of soil that we have them in here in this pot is exactly the same that all my blueberries need. It's really acidic soil, ericaceous soil, just to keep them going, give them something like what they're used to, because they usually grow in like places with lots of pine trees and things like that around. So lots of acidity there in the ground, then naturally. But yeah, and usually go out and pick loads and loads of them and make lots of jam to keep you going throughout the winter, because it's so full of vitamin C. It's really healthy. But these ones I thought it'd just be nice to have a few of them, and I could make something out of them, or at least taste them. They're really beautiful little berries too. And in Scandinavia they would just flower and then fruit once, I think around September usually. Whereas over here, so we had them flowering in April, and they're going to be fruiting now. The fruits should be ripe by July, so next month. We're in June right now. And then because they're flowering already, they're having the second flower now, and those berries should be ripe in October. So you get even more out of it. They're not like, because the berries are all so small, each and every one, you're not going to get like a huge crop unless you have lots and lots of bushes, I suppose. But each little bush should give about just over half a kilo of berries. So not a lot, but it's a nice little addition, and really, really sweet little berry to have. A very sour berry to have, but a very lovely little one, really beautiful looking. I keep it right next to my blueberries. They don't want as much sun as blueberries do, but so it's sort of sitting in the shade of my big high bush blueberry bushes usually. But yeah, really, really nice one. And they do spread quite a lot too, so I'm going to be putting this one into a bigger pot soon. I have to keep them in pots because I haven't got acidic soil in my garden, but if I did, it could easily be in a nice little shaded spot. It does like sun, but not super much really, really hot direct sun, I suppose. It wants to be in semi-shade, as long as it gets lots of sunlight, but not like the heat of the sun, if that makes any sense. But yeah, really, really lovely little woodland berry, the lingonberry, to have in the garden. Really enjoying it. And I've got, just like I do with my blueberries, I have little pine cone mulch here going to keep them extra moist and to keep the water in there. And I just make sure it gets enough water every day, because it does grow in like boggy areas, woodland areas, that sort of thing. So, but I really do think it's a wonderful, wonderful little berry bush. So there we have them, the lingonberries. I'll show you how they look when they're completely red and ripe in a few weeks' time. It's lots of fun that you get like 2 crops in a year from them. That's always a nice thing. So there they are, the lingonberries. I will see you next time, and until then, happy gardening!